Okay guys, so now the character profiles are finished, what are we going to do now? That's the question. Well, today I've actually titled our stream website updates because I feel like it's going to be one of those streams where we sort of like, tidy things up. I've already sort of updated the website a bit. We'll talk about that in a minute. There's a couple of other things I want to alter a bit on the website, just a few tiny things. There's a lot of very big ideas for the website I want to add as well, like testimonials, the features, more videos and game content on the website, credits, all that kind of stuff as well, but that's going to be stuff that goes on over the weeks and months. The stuff I want to do today is just little tiny things like editing the character forms. That's a really important one because we've made a few adjustments recently to how they're going to work. Just a little one that are going to work out for the better. And other than that, I want to kind of think about our next steps, what we're going to focus on for the rest of the month before we start doing the new content in the fall. So that's what this stream's going to be about, just like tying things up and chatting and all that sort of thing. Okay, so you might have noticed that I have deleted the characters section on Raindrop Chronicles Discord section now. It's not there anymore because there used to be a channel that you could click on and read everybody's character sheets. It was like a big list of things, and that originally was going to be the thing where we were going to store and archive all information. It was all going to go on there. But as we got more serious about the project, I was starting to realise, we need something a lot more visual and fancy than that. And that's when I decided to make an actual website. I was like, we should have a website. And I'm really glad we made that decision because it's a super cool site. And all the content was originally on here. Now we had all the character sheets, was having the story so far, and all that kind of thing. And in the end, it worked out okay at first, but as time went on, I started to realise that the website, it was a lot of maintenance to keep updating, that sort of thing. Then I ended up discovering World Anvil, which is ideal for us because unlike the website, it's very easy to maintain and update. It's really cool. So for that reason, we're putting everything on here now. And if you've been to the last streams the last few weeks, you'll know about that. So in the character section right now, we have got every single community character that's been submitted on here now. All the latest ones are done as well, so I'm very happy. We're up to date now. I've updated our Trello page as well. I've got rid of that. It's currently working on because we've done it. So we've got it split into two sections. You can also do this if you want to just have that up to look through. We have like two folders, current and future, because I think it's a good idea to organise them like that, because otherwise people might get confused and wonder which ones are in the game and which ones aren't right now. Because the fact is we've nearly got a couple of dozen character submissions now at this point, and realistically we're not going to have all of them in the game at once, especially in episode 1. Even in episode 2 we wouldn't have met everybody by that point. We won't be meeting some characters till mid-game and others maybe even end-game. It all depends where each character will fit in the story, the appropriate time to bring them in. So for that reason, we've got a current and future section, and of course there's way more in the future section than the current section at the moment. And it's easy peasy enough to drag the profiles to the correct folder when they do enter the current present time in the game development. So like say if in the next quest we meet another playable character or the quest after, we can just drag them over to the current section. But right now it's only Rose the Vampire, it's a current character. So everybody's here. With the playable characters, I've actually put their class next to their name, just to give them a little bit more more context to them and what they do, because it's such a big part of them. For the playable characters, that class is, because it's special and unique to them. Like Asharu, for example, will be the only priest in the game. Doesn't mean he's going to be the only healer. I mean, there's tons of other healer classes out there, like Cleric, for example, and that is going to be for Rex because he's an antagonist, but he's going to be a secret optional character. So at the moment, he's not classed as a playable character because he is a secret one. So he isn't added there yet. Okay, so. And I've split them in the NPCs into folders. We've got rulers and leaders, townspeople and traders, and adventurers and drifters. And I don't know why. Yeah, there we go. There was a bit of a bug there. Sometimes I've noticed World Anvil can get buggy now and again with the folders, but yeah, that's not on my end. But yeah, it's not really that much of a deal breaker. It works most of the time. So yeah, feel free to have a look through the character profiles, folks. Let us know what you think. If there's any characters in particular you're curious about or have any ideas about, I will be very intrigued to know. And I was going to say something I forgot. Oh my goodness, the rain is pouring down right now. That is loud. There is a storm going on out there. I can hear it loud, but it's probably not as loud for you guys. So yes, these profiles are very easily updatable as well. Like if we ever feel like adding another like subsection, easy peasy, you gotta just put them on them all. And that's what I did last night. I added a dialogue example to Van's profile, like here. So I made it a nifty bit of CSS. I think it's really cool. I didn't even think I could do that, but I did it. There's even an outline around the text, and I've done it on purpose like that so it resembles the in-game dialogue box as closely as possible. Now, it's not exactly like the in-game dialogue box because it's not the same font, because that's a special font, and I don't think that font's available on web for web fonts. But in appearance-wise, it's pretty close. So yeah, that's a nice dialogue box thing. Yeah, can do that for the other characters too if we ever think of any dialogue ideas for them as well. And what else was I gonna say, because I feel like I had a bazillion and trillion things to talk about, but they'll probably come to mind throughout the stream. I just felt that giving a taste of his starting personality would be fun. It was a great idea. I would never have thought of the dialogue example section on character profiles if it wasn't for that. Because you actually came up with a dialogue example, and I wanted some context to that. I didn't want to just stick it on, there underneath his character with the rest of the profile. I wanted to make it stand out more. So I thought, we can do that, and that can be a thing we do for all the characters, because then when we introduce them to the game, we'll have more of an idea. We'll have a starting point, we won't have a blank head. So it'll give us something to go off, and that always helps a lot. And I can see these character profiles really getting expanded over time. like what you see here on everybody's profiles is like just a very, very basic thing right now, but there's tons of potential of expansion, and that is something we wouldn't have been able to do on the image based sheets, because it would have just took too long and been too much work. So I'm very happy with like how we're organising the project now. Also, I subscribed to the Higher World Anvil membership last night. It costs a lot more money, but because you guys support me and subscribe to me on Twitch and all that sort of thing, I've managed to find a bit of extra money to put into that. And the reason why I've done that is because I wanted to get rid of adverts for everybody, because the subscription I was on before only got rid of adverts for me. But I want anybody who goes on here not to have to see ads, because it's quite off-putting, especially as it's such a predominant part of the website now. I mean, if you go on the website, guys, if you click the read more section, the Law Bible pops up now. So that's kind of how I'm doing it. Keeping it like attached to the website from that part, and it pops up in another window, so it's not disruptive. And eventually, I mean, I also wanted to subscribe to the higher membership because it'll allow me a bit more flexibility with how I can eventually customize this page. And I'd be all for making it over time look a little bit more fancy. I mean, it looks decent so far, and I'm happy with how it looks now. I mean, I've not put too much time into this right now in terms of appearance, because we've got a lot of other things to do. But the option's there, you know, for the future, and it'd be nice to see it as a sort of subsection to the website and make it look like the website as well over time a bit more. I love seeing all the characters on World Anvil. I know, I'm really happy with it because it's like a visual Wikipedia, you know. It keeps everything together, and there's just so much potential for how like expanded we can make this. We can link articles together and all sorts. And I mean, for example, with your character Raidu, I mean, let's go on Raidu's sheet. So Raidu, his profile talks a lot about Winter, who is Raidu's wife in the game, and we could easily, like, where it mentions Winter, like make it a link, and then you can click on Winter and go to her profile. We can treat it like a Wikipedia TV trope sort of site where everything's linked together easily, and it'll be a super cool way for people to click, find things easily, and get information on what they're curious about. So you know, that's pretty cool. And things like the classes, even, like we can link that, like the Elemental Blademaster, click it and it'll tell us things about the class eventually when we do start working on the class, when he is in the game. And we can like have the skill trees up on there and everything as well when the time comes, when we've done them. Yeah, it's not going to happen anytime soon, but you know, it's nice to think ahead about where we can go. And same with human, like click on that and it'll give us the page about humans, and we get human history come up, and relationships and allegiances with the other races as well, things like that. We could do, because I love to have a race article page for each of the races as well. And everybody's got question mark on place of birth right now, because that's information we don't know yet, because we haven't named the places in our world yet. But eventually we'll get to know things like that. And let's catch up with chat crew. Things can change, so images aren't the best way to go. Exactly. And images are just a pain to edit, you know. It takes too much time. It's too time consuming, and also, you know, it's not as easy to navigate as something like this is. This is just the most easiest way for people to read stuff. And Oh, what does it do? Oh, what does what do, Van? I apologise because I've rambled on and I forgot what I was even talking about back then. Yeah, I have read most of them. Yeah, I guess I went a little crazy with the bio. No worries, Ray. I mean, yours is one of the most detailed ones we've got, but there's a few other people that have done really detailed bios as well, and it's just either works. Some people want to keep it short and sweet, others want to go in depth, and it's whatever your preference is. Some people just have more of an idea about their character's background and what they want it to be, whereas other people kind of are okay with it going anywhere and a bit more open-ended about what their character is. So it's all just preference. I will make a note though, and this will go on everybody's profile, probably underneath this section. Something like, in the event of clashes with law or copyright concerns, certain things might be altered, but we will do our best to fit the vision as best as possible, because I need that there as protection for myself, because if I don't have that sort of disclaimer in the future, if anything ever happens and something has to be changed, someone could get proper salty, So we have to have that there, because it wouldn't surprise me if one day in the future somebody makes a character that goes completely against any law we've sort of decided together. So you gotta have that there, and you need to make a dialogue like mine. I want to know how he talks to a hero. Yeah, it's a new thing, and if you want to, I mean, this is something that the people who created the character could do, but also us as a community as well. If we ever think about any dialogue ideas for any of the characters, can go there. So for example, only Van's profile has that right now, but I really think it'd be cool if all the other characters, or some of them at least, eventually start getting little dialogues. And we can do that for people like the Barrels as well. Make a dialogue example section for Carol and put the dialogue she said, some of the best lines from Carol, because then anyone reading can get an idea of Carol's tone of voice, and all the others as well. This goes for everybody. Can I ask if my character has the profile card yet made or not? Yeah, Neffel, you're on here too. If you want to look, you can. Yours is an NPC under Adventurers and Drifters, because that felt like the most appropriate category for yours. I'm going to add that as a question actually to the character form from now on. I'm going to say, what do you see yourself as? A ruler, leader, townsperson, trader, adventurer, or drifter, so that we can categorise everybody easier in the future. But I've put everybody in the category that seems to fit with what's in the profile most. So obviously, if you're living in a city and you do trade, like you've got business, like you're a merchant, you're a blacksmith, you're a brothel owner, you'd be under that section. Whereas if you're a leader, you're there. And if you're someone who's like more of a wanderer, then yeah, you fit in the adventure and drifters section more. But yeah, you're here, Neffel. Your avatar hasn't been done yet, because it's going to be original. And I need a little bit more time on yours, because it's a very cool one. I want it to look good. It's a pig mask, so it's going to take some time to perfect. But everything else is there, and feel free to have a look if you'd like to. Have a look at everybody, and it's nice to have everyone there now, because nobody's going to get forgotten. I feel like the way the character sheets were before, how they was presented, they were like not in everybody's face enough. They were more of a background thing. So having everybody here now, you can't miss it really. It's there, and every time, even in the story section on story so far section, as we start updating that, let's go on that, because I'll be encouraging people to go on here to catch up with the story so far, and I'm going to link each of the YouTube videos we do on these as well. things like here, I want to link it to characters. So it's mentioned Rose. So I want to like highlight that so it links to Rose's profile and stuff. So people can easily access Rosie's profile if she ever gets mentioned in the story so far, and same goes for any of the other characters if they enter the story and get mentioned. My bio is a good length. You need to, yeah. And LOL, I'll give it a thought. I have a lot of work to do in my character and so little time. Oh, you do not have little time. Put it that way, Ray, because yours is like based on your character. What I've read, he definitely fits as a more mid-game party member simply because he's no noob, he's no amateur in battle, he's experienced, he's spent a lot of years perfecting his sort of skills. So by the time we meet him, I imagine, you know, he'd have a few skills learned on his skill tree. He'd have the class points, you know. He's not going to be a noob who doesn't know any of his skills. You know, and you know, it's an interesting one, that is, because it's like saying, so does that mean the ones that we meet early on are noobs then? Not necessarily. They could just be pretending they don't know. That could be like tricking people and pretending that they aren't as powerful as they are. For example, Van's character is a priest. Now, Van's character is meant to be one of the like strongest healers in the world based on what I've read. But yeah, if we meet him early game, which we probably will because we need a healer as soon as possible, he's no noob. Clearly, if is one of the strongest he's ever, but he's judging by his character, he would probably be quite secretive about that. Maybe, who knows? That's up. Van would have to communicate to me how they feel about that. But Nikki's character looks so much better with the fairies. I know, right? And she does. If she's going to be full fairy, then yeah, she had to have those fairy ears. But I'm not against characters being half. Like a hybrid race if the person wishes, like if they want to be half elf, half human, but those things are like, you know, unique as well. I mean, Oracle's characters are half elf, but the lore is starting to be built that being a half elf is quite unique. They're not overpopulated in the world, so I feel like these hybrid classes are a rare case. But there'll be the odd few now and again. But the 8 races that are there already on the character sheet are like what I consider the most populated and main races, you know. Oh no, I meant because of work, yeah. Well, no pressure, guys, because I wouldn't want to put that sort of pressure on you. You've got ages. Like I said, this is might be years until some of these characters see the light of day, and be cool to, like, you know, plan that ready for when the time comes. But the good thing is about them not coming too early on is that you can change things and alter them if you wish to help better fit the plot, or you know, there's always that option. But I love what we got so far. It's really cool for all of the characters. I was thinking about improving what I said in the question. Yeah, and that's a thing too. Like, if you guys want to message on Discord, or, you know, write in the Discord if you ever want to change something or alter something just a touch, that's fine. As long as it doesn't like it's not a completely brand new character. Like, say if like you've done one character and then you like say like it's a human and then all of a sudden it's something else and it's like messed up everything we've already done. But little small changes, like tiny little, like just developing them further, is very acceptable, and I'll be totally for adding and expanding on people's profiles. I finally finished the main quest for Final Fantasy 14, and yes, you definitely get caught up. You'd really like it. Yeah, I've been thinking of resubbing again and having a go at that when I get a bit of time, because I've heard really good things about the latest one, Van. Thank you, Salks, for that follow. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I hope you have a fab Monday. Well, he might not help much at first because he'd want the hero to prove that he, she, they is worthy of being called a hero. Can't prove anything if he's coddling the hero. There you go, exactly. All depends on characters. Like Vance fits for being somebody that would kind of not help as much because of how he's written and how he comes across. Whereas Raidu's character very much is very likes to help and show off his skills and be of assistance sort of person. So yeah, we got two very different characters there. It's fun. I'm excited for everybody to interact and meet and develop the relationships between you all as well. Okay, and okay, so yeah, is there anything else? So I mentioned I've upgraded my membership so we've not got ads anymore. There shouldn't be ads anyway. You should be able to go on here, guys, and not see any ads. It should be super cool now. Also, I've added Twitch on our website now in the About section. Felt like, we want an easy way for people to know if I'm live. What else have I added to the website? Oh yeah, I added the read more section, as I said earlier, which leads to the Lore Bible. I've also got rid of the 8 characters we showed off here, simply because it might be misleading, because I was showing the Barrels and Woody and Oliver off, and people, I felt like a couple of people were starting to get the impression that means you can make a barrel as a playable race. So having them there just above that was misleading. So eventually I might add a sort of image of all the characters, but that would be in the future if we want to just make it a bit more visual. But yes, I got rid of the minor NPC form. And I've got click here to make a playable character and click here to make an NPC. So we've just got the 2 choices now, which is much better now, I think. But we need to edit the form slightly, I think, to adjust to the changes. So we'll do that first. But nothing else has been changed yet other than those things I mentioned. Over time, the content might alter a little bit in the website as we add more stuff, but it's gonna remain the same visually, how it all is presented and stuff. Raindrops 48. Ooh, getting that. Okay, so I'm not in the WordPress admin yet, so I'm gonna have to go in it. So we'll do that first, because that's going to be super important to just do, because if anyone here has hit the 1,000 raindrops and wants to fill in a form, I want to make sure we've got everything updated as we should. So I'm gonna have to just log in on the admin. So I'm hiding that while I do that. Okay. Yeah, I started updating the website last night. It was something I started doing, and that's when I added the new things. Oh yeah, here we are. So I've still got the minor NPC form there because I'm not going to delete it in case we need to refer to it, but I'm going to just get these two up. So this is the WordPress plugin I use for making the form. It's called WP Forms. it's a pretty good one for a free one, you know. Some of them make you pay for stuff. And I do want to do that. Okay, so make a playable character. At the moment I've got playable character as the hero as the story. I might alter what's in here just a touch. We don't need to really say that because both NPCs and playable characters will have their own personal goal now. Also, I'm going to delete that because not necessarily are the playable characters the heroes. Some of them have got shades of grey and might be sort of villains in themselves, you know. So I don't want to like limit us to saying that they're all heroes, but I'm going to put what they definitely are, which is the fact that they are controlled by the player in battle and specialise in a class that is unique to them. So that is really what they are ultimately, what separates them from NPCs. Can we zoom in on this so you guys can see this better? Okay. So save that for a sec. So as I save this, it should update straight away on the website as well. I'm going to just check. Because of the embed, I have to make sure the stream's muted, otherwise you'll get me twice talking. Okay, so we're gonna have to refresh to see this. Also, I'm thinking of adding just a little bit of more info on these sections as well. Eventually, but I'm not sure what to put just yet. There we go. Okay. Because I know Andy Cake was keen on filling in a form because he's had the 1,000 raindrops for a while. I think he's got about 3,000 now. And a few of you might end up filling those forms in. And if you do, like if anyone does fill in a character form, all I do is I add your name here to community member character profiles to do. And I usually wait to get a little bit of a batch before I start, but now we do it this way, it might be easier to get them up now. Now we do it the Law Bible way. But we'll see how it goes because we got a lot to do. We got a lot of game dev stuff to be focusing on for the rest of the month. Got some plans which I'm going to talk about a bit later in stream. Okay, so here we go. Zoom in again. Okay, so this needs to change as well because they aren't necessarily the allies or antagonists. They could be neutral as well. So I don't want to make it like that a thing. NPCs. Yeah. I want to make him, yeah. And they're not often reoccurring characters. That was the difference I said between major and minor. I said major NPCs are reoccurring characters and minor ones are ones that are only in one place. But I don't want to restrict ourselves to that anymore. I was starting to think now the minor NPCs can be the same as the major, or I like to see them all NPCs just as NPCs now, rather than putting labels on them. Okay, so I'm going to look on my phone actually for a description for NPCs so I can put it as best as possible. I mean, it's obviously a non-playable character. That's really what they are, but I'm going to sum it up better than that. Yeah, so we've said about playable characters are controlled by the player in battle and special. So we can easily just say NPCs are not controlled by the player and exist. They exist to sort of, in my opinion, like advance the story, I guess, and populate the world. What does NPC mean to you guys, chat? I should ask you, chat, what you think the best way to sum up an NPC is. So I'm on Urban Dictionary to find out whichever word on it, 'cause it's the silliest. NPCs are not controlled by the player. Here's a definition. Oh, let's read that one, Van, because I'm reading definitions at the moment on Urban Dictionary of all places, and I think they're a bit silly, some of them. So I'm going to read yours instead. A non-player character NPC is a video game character that is controlled by the game's artificial intelligence AI rather than by a gamer. Oh, really? I mean, that's depends on the game, doesn't it? I mean, we still have a say on the NPCs in our game. But we don't, yeah. And non-player characters serve a number of purposes in video games, including as plot device. NPCs can be used to advance the story, which is what I put. Yay! I did it. I said it right. I'm a genius. For assistance, NPCs may act as partners to the game. Game functions, NPCs often serve as save points, item stores, health, regeneration points, and so on. Yeah, they can be literally anything. I mean, like, that's why we've got all these types now for NPCs. We've got rulers, leaders, townspeople, traders, because they're people. They're just people, aren't they? That's what it comes down to, and they have their own lives in the world. Found on Technopedia. Oh, thank you, Van. NPCs can also just be here to make the location feel populated, but not just to advance the plot. That's true as well, though I've always said, because this is what I'm like, that I want every NPC to have a purpose rather than just be sort of just a meaningless body walking around. And anybody that's a community character, I would at least make the effort to make them more than just a nobody. But for sure, that is really very true. So I might put or instead of and for that. And I think that's probably better then, because we're not saying that they do both. Because I'm sure we'll have NPC. I mean, we'll say, but I'm just trying to be ambitious about our NPCs. And I think that's fine as a description now. I think we've distinguished the difference. So, playable characters are controlled by the player in battle and specialised classes unit. And okay, that's cool. So save that as well. Okay, so now the other thing I want to change is just this little, slightly how it's laid out, the form. Thank you, Doody, for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a great day. Having an NPC just for the sake of adding an NPC isn't the best. They could have comedic value by making a situational joke or provide some interesting, relevant lore. Yeah, I think they have to have some purpose, otherwise might as well just delete them and not even have them there. And yeah, it makes it harder work for us if we want every NPC to have personality somewhat, or, you know, be of use. Yeah, that's harder work for sure if we want to go all out. But I feel one of the things about that I admire about games, and if they do it, is like putting effort into characters, even the small ones. Even if they don't have the biggest arc, of course, or even they're only there for a bit, even in the time we talk to them, they're still somewhat of value and offer something to the game. I'm just a fan of that. Okay, so I'm going to look at how we've set up a character profile, because I want to make sure it's all in the same order as what's on here, because it's going to be easier for me then to write the profiles. So I'm going to pick one that I'm going to get a couple up, because some of them have different questions in than others. So we'll get Vans up and Raiders, considering they're hanging out with us today. I'll show you guys off. Okay, so I definitely think, gosh, so many tabs up now. I'm getting confused. Put these here. What is your Twitch username is definitely the best first question to have, for sure, because we want to know who's putting it. Believe it or not, guys, people, complete randoms have filled in these forms who haven't even been in a stream before. Some have even filled them in saying, I don't have Twitch on this. So, yeah. I was at one point thinking of hiding the forms, so only people who've got 1,000 raindrops can actually see them. I was going to make them viewable on the Discord and a private link, but I've decided no, I'm going to keep them on the website, because I like people to be able to look through them and see how we do it. You know, I think that's exciting, because it'll get people excited about making a character then. But what I've done, I've added a little note here saying thank you for making a character for Raindrop Chronicles. Their profile will be added to the website in the coming weeks if you have collected 1,000 raindrops on the Twitch channel. So that kind of tells them that, you know, you need 1,000 raindrops, because I've had people come in the stream in the past saying, where's my character? Like, I filled in the form. I mean, nobody was rude about it or anything, but I've had some come in say that they filled in a form, and just to let me know, because they didn't know if I'd seen it and it had been a while, and I was like, you need the 1,000 raindrops, because that person hadn't got the 1,000. And although the website does very clearly state that you need 1,000, I mean, I even went all out and made an icon for it to make it stand out more. And I've even got a description there of what it is. I do want to add a little bit more info on here, but I've got to have a think about how to word that. But really the main stuff is here. And I just assume some don't read properly is all. But if I've got it there twice, if I've got it here and as the confirmation message, which is what pops up when you filled your form in, you know, nobody's gonna wonder or be like, where's my character, because I've clearly put it there enough at that point. And maybe you should put that statement on the top of the form. Yeah, it's like, how many times does it have to be there? Because it's there on the website very boldly, and yeah, we can put it there again. I feel like sometimes you need to, don't you? Because some people don't read, but most people know. I was just quite surprised by the amount of random forms I get from randoms. But ultimately, yeah, I want to keep the forms on the site because it's a nice thing to show off to, you know, I want people to be able to look at them and get excited about filling them in. Hiding them defeats that purpose, and nobody, you know. So let's fill it in again. Let's go up. So, I mean, we could always put in the form description somewhere here like that, or in brackets here. Make sure you get 1,000 raindrops. I don't want it to be too like intrusive though from the form, but maybe that's the way to get people to read. Okay, so, but yeah, we could add it to the form description for sure. Okay, so what is your Twitch username? Definitely best first question, got that up. What is your character's name? That's still fine as the next question. I'm going to get a normal NPC up as well, actually, because I've got 2 playable characters here up as an example. So I'm going to get one of the NPCs up so we can see the difference. What is your gender? Okay, this was one I wanted to change. So, because Masked Emerald's character that we have, she's not actually a non-binary character now. She was originally female, but she's non-binary now. They're non-binary, should I say. So, we're gonna add that because some people may wish to be that. And if you have already filled yours in and you've changed your mind and you don't want to be male or female and you want to be non-binary like Masked Emerald, just feel free to let me know. And I'm also going to put just so people, I mean most people know this anyway, but it needs to be stated because whatever you pick, of course, for your gender will be how, when people speak of them and say that their pronouns, those will be the ones they say about your character. So there we go. Do you have 1,000 raindrops on Twitch? LOL. You could put the question, do you have 1,000 raindrops on the Twitch channel? This will be verified. Yeah, that could be the first question. What do you think? Should we put that as a question, guys? And if so, should it be the top one? I think that's smart, you know, because we won't get people filling them in randomly then. We'll only get the people that should. And Rose, guess what? Yeah, what's happened, Muffin? What's going on? Tell me. And then if the answer is no, have it say, thank you for your interest in Raindrop Chronicles. Please join our Twitch channel to earn the 1,000. Yeah, well, I'm not sure if the form is that intelligent that it'll do that. Maybe it does, but I'm a noob. I don't know. But I'll have to look into that one if we want to maybe set it up that way. Oh my goodness, Muffin Mancer, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. That's very kind of you to do for me. Let's have some hype in chat, guys. I appreciate the support. I do. I actually went all out and bought a high membership on World Anvil last night. I was like, should I do this? I'm not the richest person at all. I'm poor. But I did it because it's going to benefit us to have a Bible, a law Bible that isn't covered with adverts, and also more customisable and flexible in the future and offers us more features as well. So I'm glad I've invested in that. I'm not usually the sort of person that does. And you guys that help support, helping out for things like that. So I super appreciate you. Tons. Thank you, Muffin, for being fabulous. I hope you're having a good Monday and that your weekend went okay. Sending you my hugs, Muffin. Okay, so, I mean, for now, Van, we can always just have it as a question. And if we want to, if it's possible in the forms to make it say that when we click no, then yeah, that will be what we do. And also, okay, so we've got that there. We've got to add that to the other form as well, though, of course, because we got to do them both. So and this is the same for Custom Hero Creator now, by the way. Some of you might not know, because the video we've got up on the YouTube at the moment is still the old version of the Custom Hero, and I am intending to do an updated version of that to show off on the YouTube at some point. And the difference is that you can pick a non-binary gender for your hero if you wish, on the Custom Hero, and also you can choose whatever body type you want, the masculine or the feminine one, for whatever your gender is. You're not limited, and I like that flexibility more. It will at least make people think, yes, for sure. Because I'm just assuming people came across the website and were like, oh, this looks really cool, and they just went all down and didn't bother reading and just clicked the forms. It happens, you know. And I mean, I'm flattered, because the fact that people would spend their time filling in these forms, because they're not easy to fill in, there's loads of questions, it's really time consuming, so the fact that people would do that is very flattering. But of course I need to make life easier on myself. I don't want to keep getting random submissions from people that aren't in the stream, but it's still flattering, I guess. Okay, so they're the same, I think. Okay, cool. So put that question at the top so people see that one first. Yeah, it's a good idea, so I've got to remember how this works now. Multiple choice. That's probably the best one to use, isn't it? Because we can do a yes and no thing with that one. Ooh, it's gone all down at the bottom. Go back to the top. Okay, so the typos are coming already. Do you have 1,000 raindrops from the Twitch channel? Yes. No. Feel like I really want, when they click no, for something to come up saying you can't fill this in anymore. Is that possible? Because I want that. Yeah, required. Gotta have that as required. So advanced options, randomized choices, choice layout. Put it as 2 columns, so it's not so long then. We do save a bit of space. Hide label, what's that do? No, we want that. Dynamic choices, what's that? Don't know what that actually means. Conditionals, is this it? Oh. Logic conditional logic is not available on your plan. Please upgrade. I'm assuming that that's what it is, right? That's probably what that you mean, isn't it, Van? That depending on the choice you pick, it'll have the logic to say no. It seems like I need a pro for that then, so we might have to handle that a different way, because I ain't paying for a subscription for something. I'm a tight git. You can put no, please join our Twitch channel and 1,000 raindrops to make a character. Yeah, okay, so if we're going to do that, we probably better to have it on 1 column then. Or like that. Yeah, like in line. say collect, because that's kind of the wording I'm using. So we'll be consistent. So collect 100. I keep saying 100. What is with me? I always do that. It's 1,000. There we go. So that should come up. So does it look okay? As long as I don't want it to look a complete mess. I don't want to ruin our form, but at the same time we gotta make people know about this. So that they know up front it will be. It says they're not wasting the time filling it in then, are they? So, and on the yes, put 1,000 raindrops will be verified. Yeah, actually that's probably a good way to do it, because some of that bothers me because I'm very fussy about presentation. It's one thing about me. I don't like how it's got that all this long text for no, but for yes there's nothing. So I like your idea there. So so you says 1,000 raindrops will be verified. Should we word that as something like fill in the form? You're okay to fill in the form, just for clarity, because feel free to fill in the form below. Congrats, feel free to fill in the form below, because to say, yeah, you did it. Has something like that. Hi Rez, would a field work? How many raindrops do you have? Check by typing raindrops during each stream, each Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Say hello while you're at it. Oh, yeah, I like that, Mash, although it could make it go too long and go on to the next line, and it might be a bit wordy, but it's that sort of stuff is here, in all honesty, and I think really they should read rather than us have to keep repeating the same thing either. But you know, I've been thinking about expanding this section just a touch. I don't want to have too much more extra text, because otherwise that will deter people from wanting to read. But come on guys, we're all readers in this channel, aren't we? That's why we like dialogue and RPGs. So you know, like, people shouldn't be lazy. And one thing I have noticed about the people that did fill in the forms without knowing they needed 1,000 raindrops, I mean, no disrespect to them, I mean, I'm sure they're wonderful people and all, but one thing I did notice is that their characters, like, literally had nothing filled in about them. Like, on the section about fears and flaws and goals and that, there was like just a word, like, very generic as well. And I want to see the community have really detailed NPCs, you know. Even, I mean, ones with less information in them are cool, but, you know, have a bit of mystery there, something intriguing about your character at least. If like Vans, for example. Vans was a shorter profile, but super, like, intriguing. We don't want generic PSCs now. Again, we want to have some really, really cool ones. So sounds more like a bot. I would have thought that too, unless, but putting things like I don't have a Twitch channel ... made it sound like there was a human being writing it. And there was a few that filled in Twitch channel names, and I'd never heard of them before. You know, and I feel like the form was filled in like by a person, but it was just very rushed and not thought about. Interesting. If a bot was going to fill the form in, what sort of stuff would you think could be on? Because I'm curious now. Maybe it was a mixture. Maybe there was a mixture of bots and real people. Okay, so did we do that? So I think that sort of question's fine now. We've stated that you can fill in the form if you've got the 1,000, and if you haven't, that you need to do that. So, I wish, is there an easy way to copy this? Duplicate field, okay. Oh no, we don't want it on the same form though. We might have to write it out again then for our other form, because it won't let us copy in between forms. So multiple choice. Bots can still do that. I work on websites and see a lot of comment spam. Many of the words relate with stuff in the site or on a form we have. So yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say every form that got submitted made no sense. Like, for example, on the fears section, they might have just said something super generic, like scared to like spiders or something. So it seems like there was some understanding of what was being filled in, but they just weren't really making somebody super intriguing or detailed. So one thing I have to say that I love about the NPCs that we've got is that they're all really, really well thought out. So which makes me glad. And it seems like kind of really until you invest. Maybe then, wouldn't surprise me if there was some bots filling them in. But funny enough, the last couple of months, I've not had anyone fill them in. I've had no randoms fill them in the last couple of months. But at the start, when the website just got submitted, I was getting felt like 3 every week filling them in. And I was like, my goodness, where are these people coming from? Because if they're not in my Twitch streams, why are they here? And there were people that I don't have Twitch ... So maybe would a bot be capable of doing that? Interesting. I suppose bots are clever these days. Go through a ton of crap on the websites, yeah. Well, that's better. I feel better because I know I'm not upsetting anyone or hurting their feelings or wasting their time. But they should have read it's their fault if they are real. But at the same time, I think we can't go wrong having this as a question in case there is a real person out there that doesn't read properly. So let's fill it in. Because yeah, I had about 2 people come in the channel and say they filled in a character form, so they were clearly real people, but maybe some of them were bots. So because some of the names did seem a bit weird that they gave for their Twitch username, a bit trolley sounding, I have to say. You were getting harassed by people as well as bots back then. Yeah, I remember I had a bot spam the one day. I had about, how many follows in 1 minute? That was a bit weird, but luckily I've never had that since. Okay, there we go. So they're the same now, aren't they? Oh, we gotta just tick required for that now. So what we're doing today, folks, for anyone who's just coming in just now, we are just giving this parts of the website a bit of a tidy up. If you go on the website, you might notice that a few things have changed. Just look. Oh, what am I doing? That's not the command. There, that's the website. If you go on, you might notice there's a few little changes. We don't have the extra navigation anymore. And we've got a read more section that will take you to the Law Bible. And we're just cleaning up the character forms because since we're changing how it's done a bit now. We've got rid of minor NPC and major. We're just having NPCs as one. A few little bits and bobs need changing in the character forms, and things like the gender as well needed an update, so that's been done as well. want to put that as a 1 column, I think. There we go. Bit more readable like that, probably. Okay, so that's good. So we got that question there now. So what is your Twitch username? What is your character's name? I feel that they're probably the best first questions. Gender. Might put the race one before gender, actually, just because I want to make it an easier job for me, so I might put the questions in the order of how they are here. So yeah, I might move the race one up, actually, on by forms, because race is above. Species kind is above the gender section. So we got the class as well, so maybe the playable character will move the class just under race, because that's a very important question for class. I hope you're having a good day though, National. Can't remember if I said that. Happy Monday to you. Hope your weekend went okay. Okay, I'm getting confused between the playable character and NPC form. Okay, so yes, we'll put the class question here. And I do it so that you've got a choice of 2, and the reason why I have it like that is because in case the other one has already been taken, say 2 people fill in the form at the same time and pick the same class, we'd be in trouble. So that's like the backup option in case you can't be that playable character for some reason, that class. Because in Raindrop Chronicles, the class is exclusive to the playable character. We can't have 2 priests, we can't have 2 vampires. Everybody's unique. It's going good today, making a gift for someone's birthday and listening in on your stream. Weekend was alright, it's finally cooled off out where you are. Oh yes, it's a lot cooler than it was last week. The weather's definitely still quite warm, but it's more bearable now than it was before. I'm not a sweaty Betty now. And that sounds fun. I want to know what that present is, but it's probably a secret, isn't it? Okay, because every time someone fills a form in for playable character and they've picked a class, I always get rid of them. So here they all are. Here's all our choices for classes. So these are the ones that haven't been taken yet, guys. So when Radu and Van and picked our classes because they were the latest playable characters we have in the game, I got rid of Priest from here because we don't want anyone else picking Priest. So at the moment we've got Alchemist, Assassin, Bard, Beastmaster, Berserker, Dancer, Dark Knight, Gambler, Illusionist, Monk, Necromancer, Occultist, Plague Doctor, Psychic, Puppeteer, Pyromancer, Thief and Trickster. If there ever is any classes, common ones, that I've missed out, feel free to let me know and I'll add them to the form, because I don't think we can go wrong with having more, but I feel like we've got quite a bit of choice there. Cleric's not on there because that's going to be Rex's class, because he's going to be a secret optional playable character if you go down the Sympathizer Reptile route. So I am totally for having secret playable characters in the game. I don't think there's going to be tons, by the way, so I'm not going to encourage every NPC in our game to say to me, oh yeah, can I be a secret playable character, because I'm giving it to Rex because, well, Yeah, so, but, you know, if there's an opportunity to have more, I'll be for that, but it has to be right and fit as well with them and their arc. And I think it fits well for Rex's arc to potentially be that secret playable class, because he's an antagonist, and there's a very likely chance that he won't be an antagonist if you play the game a certain way. In episode 1. How long have you been making this game? Hi Doody, how you doing? A year. We've been streaming it for about a year now, haven't we, folks? So really, it's not a lot compared to the scope we've got in mind. We're at the tip of the iceberg right now. But how are you, Doody? Thank you for coming by and welcome. I hope you're having a good day. So what's the difference between cleric and priest? That's an interesting one. I think we should look that up, shouldn't we? At some point, like, look at the differences. I felt that I did read about this actually. Me and Rex talked about it when he actually said he sees himself as a healer himself. Because he's like the reptile. He looks out for his fellow beast men, and especially the reptiles. That's like his arc, to be the person that protects them. So that's why he's a bit of a grey antagonist, because although he's like horrible to humans and anyone who crosses reptiles or kills them, like he wants them destroyed, anybody that hurts his reptiles. But you know, really, he's actually he's a good guy to those that are part of the reptile clan. So he'd like be a healer for them, I guess. And I've got to read more about a cleric and the differences between them and other healers, because I can't actually think. Maybe I don't know whether it's related to religion, the differences between them, or whether the spells are different. But the cleric is known to use a mace. I think, is it a mace? What a cleric tends to use as their weapon. Because I remember there was I don't know if it was D&D or whether it was another video game RPG where there was a cleric and that was the weapon they had. But I've got to double check on those sort of things. So there'd be a few differences, I'm sure. A specific kind, yeah. Seems like a really cool idea. I'm working on making my own RPG Maker game, still making the story. Oh, that's super cool. Always good to meet more RPG Maker folks, for sure. Always very exciting. And I mean, we have a creative work channel in our Discord, so if you ever want to share a few of your bits of your stuff, your game, you're totally welcome to if you ever do join. Always excited to see what others are doing. And yes, this is slow going. I mean, we're nearly touching our number 200 stream now, aren't we, guys? But you know, we're still very early on in the project, really, so it's no rush to me. I'm not one of these people who are like, yeah, let's make a game in a month or even a year. This is like something I'm going to be doing very long term. And we may have the combo wrong on cleric and priest. Cleric is primarily a healer but also very capable when fighting. After choosing domains like zeal or war, they are usually a priest and a holy warrior, and originally modelled on or inspired by military orders. Right, so they are a sort of fighter as well, which fits for Rex's character, I think, because he's quite aggressive. And I'm sure that he's done his fair bit of fighting as well. Any member of the Christian clergy, priest, the same, especially specifically used in Roman Catholic, Orthodox, or I can't say that word, bishop, a piece that has been elevated to a position of authority over a designated number of congregations. Interesting. Boggles my mind, but people can even make small games in a week. Yeah, I'm slow. I'm very slow because I take my time, and I always ruminate and think over things all the time. So I see it as this is a marathon, not a sprint, and it's definitely not a small game as well, which is very, very ambitious of me to start such an epic scope. But that is what I get excited by. I'm excited by making a big world and RPG. I'm going to look into that more, Van, actually, because it's going to, I mean, what you've given there are some definite differences, but I want to look into more depth about it as well. Because it's quite interesting, because to see how your character and Rex's would differ from each other, because they are very different as people. I mean, they might share some traits in common, more than we think, but appearance-wise, they're very different as well. At least so we have the right title choices, yeah. For sure. I think that Priest suits Ashara. There's something very about Priest, there's something very honourable sounding about it, like doing the right thing. But I do want to research even more to see the difference for sure. Okay. So we got that. Now the other form. Oh yes, so the what are you, an ally and antagonist. So I'm going to change this to what is your allegiance. I think that's spelled correctly. And this is only on the minor, I mean the NPC form, sorry. Allegiance. The link to Discord doesn't seem to work. Are you on mobile? Because in the past, I've had a couple of, like since I've been streaming, I've had a handful of people say the link doesn't work. And it seems to, I don't know whether it's mobile or what, that it doesn't work on. But it does work for most people. So it is a very strange one why it wouldn't work. I've always wondered, is it because it's mobile? I still don't get why that would make it not work. So, strange one. I've never been able to work out that, but it doesn't happen often. Once every 6 months we'll get someone come in saying the Discord doesn't work. So, obviously I want it to work for you though. So, I'm not sure what else to do really, because that's my invite link. To be honest, I'd have to create another one, but copy. Okay. Let me see if this one works. Okay, so I've copied an invite link, so let me know if that works. If not, I'll have to create another one. But that's the one that's there that it's given me. And I think that's different. Okay, that worked. Thanks. Yay. Cool. Because that one's one that actually expires in one day. The one I've given you. And the one that I have on my profile is a forever one. So it's a strange one. I've never been able to figure out why it doesn't work for some. But welcome. It's good to have you here. So, yay. I'm glad we got that working though. Feel free to have a look at our stuff. So we have a pets channel, create work channel, all the cool stuff. Okay, so where are we? So, oh yeah, here we were. Put neutral in the middle. So what is your allegiance, ally, neutral, antagonist? There we go. And where was that in the form? We have it under race, and we have it above gender. So just want to keep it in order just because it's easy for me. I'm not going from the start to the end to the middle and all over the place. Then when filling in the form, I can do it in order so it's more productive. So what is your race? What's your allegiance? Because that's what it's all. It's race and class for playable character, and race and allegiance for NPC. That's the difference with the question. So everything else is the same. So we've got username, character's name, race, class, gender, username, character name, race, allegiance, gender. Yeah, that's it. That's all cool and sorted. So the next question after that is, what is your goal for playable character? And for NPC we have that as well, I think. Oh no, we have what faction would you most likely be part of. I was thinking of changing that one to what do you do for a living, or I do like that question, what faction would you most like to be part of, because it just like groups the NPC into that. But now we can have the type thing. I don't know if we need that one, and I figured it'd be better to be a little bit more flexible with how we can answer it. So the NPC form, the minor NPC form, had the question. I'm going to get it up because it did have a few good questions in that the others didn't have, and it might be better. So what do you do for a living? Which we had a choice of a few things. I feel like we should have that as a question instead of the faction one, and we can always add the faction answers that we've got to some of the choices. Okay, so I'm going to actually just save these into my notepad file so that I don't lose them. So I might want to like add them and merge them. Now I do think that this question would move lower though, because it's going to be with the others, like your biggest fear and stuff like that. But we'll do that after. And guys, if you want to look, the website's here because that's what we're working on today. And we're updating the NPC and playable character forms for the community members that want to fill forms in and make a character. So that's what we're doing today, and we probably won't be doing it all stream because there's a couple of other things I want to talk about and start and plan, because we've got some other stuff to do, but this is an important thing to do. Okay, so what do you do for a living? What have we got as the question? So, oh, we got a few choices here, and I wish we could copy and paste them. Bulkhead. Oh, I don't think it's going to allow us copy. Right, we're going to have to manually do this, I think. Yeah, so what is this? It's a drop down, isn't it? So let's change it. I don't think we can change it, so we might have to start another one. Okay, so drop down, there we go. Right. Because we can have a few there, so it's probably better to have it as a drop down rather than a multiple choice. There'll be a lot potentially that we could add. So delete that one. I think some of these can help, like having some livelihoods here or trades can be beneficial to like get people's ideas for characters flowing. Because I'm seeing some of these things could inspire, you know, like, oh, a beggar. Cool, I'll be a beggar. We haven't got a beggar in the game yet, actually. We haven't got a lot of these. Nothing or other. Yeah, we got to have that there as well. Just in case some of them are none of them. Okay, so I've put everything that was there. Just going to double check. Okay, cool. Yeah, everything else that's on the Mine NPC I don't think we need. It was only that question that was a valuable one that we don't want to lose, really. And I was thinking, yeah, because we've got we've got a couple of faction ones for our faction question that we deleted that we might want to merge in here as well, actually. So we can have government worker. I'll sort them out alphabetically in a bit, so. I'm just going to think of anything that are more bandits and other. Mercenary. Criminal. Criminal, yeah. Detective, investigator, oh, thank you guys for all your ideas. This is what I need now. I was about to ask you actually, chat. I was gonna say, have you got any ideas, chat? Because I'm all for expanding this question and having a lot of choice for people. I think it'll be beneficial if we add a lot of different livelihoods to this question, because people might get ideas and then we'll get some really potentially cool NPCs from it. So, and yes, so I'm gonna mayor, city, governor. So yeah, one thing we got to be careful of is that if we've already, because we've already got a king in the game and we've already got a prime minister, and that doesn't mean there won't be other kings or other government leaders. They could be from other regions, for example, but if we're ever going to get clashes with NPCs that people make, it'll be that two of them create a king and it's like, oh, like the main king, and two of them create. So, you know, if there ever is a specific job that there can only ever be one of, I'll probably delete it if somebody's already taken it. So yeah, I was thinking of putting king up, but then I thought we have already got a king in the game, but you know, there's going to be more kings. I mean, Scaly's character mentions that she's the daughter of a king in a faraway fairyland, like the fairy king. So the fairy king will be different from the human king, for example. And I mean, yeah, people really are probably best reading our current character submissions to get an idea of the character they can create, especially as we get more, because early on it was easy to not create two of the same, you know, but as time goes on. So I'm going to get these ideas up quickly. I'm going to organise them alphabetically in a sec, but let's get them all down first. So detective, investigator, squire's a good one because we don't just want soldier warrior people that are like too high up the ladder. We want all sorts as well. Apprentice, stable hand, we got farmer, but yeah, it's good to get more. Oh, entertainer, that's a good one. Tavern server, I think we've got innkeeper here, so it's basically the same thing. We don't want to get too wild, but con artist, that's a good one. Thief, we've already, I mean, Lavender Sunsong, Silent Lost character, is a con artist and a thief, but we can always have more than one of those, for sure. Oh, Lord, Lady, Duke, Duchess, that's a good one. I could put noble. I think noble's a good one to sum that up. So servant, slave, brilliant. I love all the ideas. I feel like I might have missed some, but I'm putting in the ones that are like standing out to me as really good ones. That's a good one as well. A guide, yeah, a guide is a good one as well. I was thinking someone that stands in front of a city to protect it. What's the word for that again? There's loads in Skyrim. Oh my god, how could I forget something so obvious? Not a bodyguard. Bodyguard isn't the word, but you know, someone who protects, who got a guard. Is it a guard? That might be it. Ranger. Would ranger fall under something like ranger and those sort of things fall under adventurer though, maybe? Because some things could be more fall into some category. Okay, poet. We've got alchemist as an actual class, but I think we can have it as a job as well, because not every oh my goodness, I'm getting loads. You're so good at coming up with these. But yeah, as for like normal trades, we've got your blacksmiths, barkeepers, armourers, they're already there. Fisherman, innkeeper, merchant, scholar, but there's definitely some more we could go for, like tailor. It's a good one. We can have a super detailed one here. I like this question a lot. Because yeah, a blacksmith is more of an armourer, more like, you know, metal. So having your leather workers and tailors are good. You're thinking of Final Fantasy 14 crafting jobs now. Guardian, yeah, we'll have guard. I don't think we've got guard up here, so enchanter. Sentry also works there. Junkyard dealer, yeah. Criminal, like criminal and things like that would fall under a lot of like things that are illegal activities. Beggars there, yeah. Ooh, prophet teacher. Prophet teacher. Think of all the cool things you'd love to see in the game as an NPC, basically, guys, because all these things could spark people's ideas when making characters, and we want to see all the cool things in the game. Florist, that's a good one. I wonder if there's a limitation for how many we can have here. Horse trainer, oh my goodness. I love it. Beekeeper. We're getting very specific now. Did we add teacher? We did. Did we have prophet? Yeah, florist, herder. Is that, would that be linked to farmer? Do you think any of these might be too close to each other? I'm only cautious in case we end up with a limit and we can't add any more. But it's, you know, we can keep trying until we do. Let's see. Raindrop container manufacturer would, yeah, what livelihood would that be? That's a good one that Sten has said, but I'm wondering if there's a more less specific name for it that would be very fitting for someone that does, because government worker stands out to me, but it might be because we do have those people, you know, people whose job it is to collect the raindrops and work in the banks, you know, to give the raindrops to people that want to trade. But government worker, it seems a little bit generic for something like that. So let's shepherd probably would fit under farmer and herder maybe. Fisherman, we've already got fisherman, but miner is one that we could have that we haven't got. If any of you like say something super like specific, I might be more inclined to think, is there a slightly less specific word that it could fall in, like things like farmer, and that could be a number of different. Rancher is more about, yeah, we've got rancher here, I think. Did we add rancher? I'm sure we did. We got stable hand. Would that be the same? We've even got horse trainer, we've got herder. Cutthroat, rat herder, undertaker, we've got a snipe, doctor. We don't have doctor, do we? Have we not got doctor? Oh my goodness, how could we not have doctor? So I'm going to be, I love the idea of being specific about it, but we'll just say things like doctor, and undertaker's a great one actually. And if someone wants to make a sort of a bad doctor, then they can just give them more that in the rest of the form, you know, make them an antagonist doctor or something. Scientist is another, I've just realised. You gotta have your mad scientists. Students are great one as well. Dancer might fall under entertainer actually. So I'm gonna be careful, guys, because we might be getting a bit overboard here, but I feel like there's still some good ones we might have missed. But cutthroat and things like that are brilliant, but that could fall under criminal and things like that for sure. And we do have an other and nothing one, so if someone isn't any, then they can always be more specific there if they want to go for something super specific, you know. Chef, that's a great one. Do we have chef? I think we might have. We got cook, so cook is a chef really. Makeup artist, illuminator, minstrel, bard, singer, writer, sculptor, accountant. So bard and singer would fall under entertainer, same as dancer. Something like makeup artist is a good one, and barber even. Is there a more general word for makeup artist and barber, and people that are about making people's appearances look nice? I'm trying to think if there's a word to sum that up. That a few things could fall into maybe. Accountant is good. So, undertaker, something, as far as I'm aware, isn't it someone that deals with dead bodies? I'm actually wondering now if I got the right thing. Oh gosh, bookkeeper, innkeeper, merchant, got innkeeper and merchant. Debt collector, that's a good one. Because I haven't saved this yet, and I'm scared that it's going to come up saying you've got too many, because I haven't even saved it. So I probably should save just to make sure, because I feel like we've got so many, but it hasn't come up saying no, so I think we're all good. Goldsmith, good one. Actually, we'll call it jeweler, just a bit more. Auctioneer, that's a pretty good one. I'm looking out for the ones that I feel like could be pretty creative, that you guys might have said that are quite unique and might not fit into the other categories that I've added. Things like armourer, merchant and innkeeper have all been added. A pimp. I like that one. So is that the female wording for it? Madame, I wasn't even sure of that. I'm silly. Tinker, bandit, we've got bandit there. Burglar would be a criminal, so I think we're good for that. Same as drug lord. Pirate, smuggler. Oh, okay, so call it pirate. Would you say they're the same thing or different? A stylist, groomer. Yeah, I like that. Should we say groomer, or do you think stylist is a better word, chat? Because I think that'd be a good one to have, as long as we like have it so that a few things could fit in there. Because I don't want to just put like 10 hairstylist, makeup artist, beautician, and loads of things that could just be in one. Yes, I will be ordering them alphabetically, don't worry, because it's going to be almost impossible otherwise to read through them, so it's going to be easier to add them alphabetically, but we'll get them all in first, because I've got to do that manually, unfortunately, because there isn't a way to do it on here. Judge, that's a great one. Lawyer, that's a great one as well. Princess would fall under noble, I guess that one would, so I think that's fine. Sheriff, would that be detective? Spy master. Lady in waiting. What's a lady in waiting again? Is there a way? Because I want to make sure that we've not, because it could be a good one, but we might have one that falls in that category already. Page ward. Gravedigger, chimney sweeper. We've got grave. Would gravedigger or undertaker be better wording? Would it be the same thing? Knacker, person who disposes of dead or unwanted animals. Gosh. So what I'm wondering, guys, because we've got so many creative ideas here, and I'm like really happy because there's so many good ones, but I don't want to go overboard where we like that and it's impossible to sieve through them. So if there is a way to sum up in one category, I'd be all for that. But maid, nanny, prostitute, trainer. We've got courtesan, I think, which could be the same as that. Nanny, maid is a good one. Look like they're reducing tax. It is, and that's what I want to be careful of. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think having a long list is brilliant, because got people who look through these forms now will get more inspired for character ideas. So I think it's a very good idea to expand on it, that's for sure. Serves a queen. Okay, so it would be a noble, or a maid, I suppose. I might be pushing it slightly by saying they'd fall under that, because they might be a little bit more specific than just those, but I feel like it gets to a certain point where whatever you've got in mind for a job will fall under something we've got here, even just a little. Brought in nobility related, but I'm not sure they're quite the same. You don't think? I like it having a huge list like that. Will be fun to shift through. As jailer being suggested. Would that be criminal? City watch, firefighter, sergeant at arms, scouts. Scouts a good one. Slave driver. So we've got slave, but we don't have slave driver. So we could have that. Sergeant at arms. I'm getting more inclined to just add everything now, but Quartermaster Fire. Firefighter's a good one. City Watch, would that be guard? Because I think that could fall into guard. You probably want to keep the profession gender neutral in case you get something like male maid. Probably more like cleaner would be better, or housekeeper. I mean, what, men can be maids. Should we have housekeeper? I think that's a nicer word than cleaner. Astrologer, chemist, engineer, dracologist, studies dragons. Oh, scholar would be fitting for that. So, chemist, alchemist, engineer, that's a good one. So I'm thinking, there's a few for sure you've mentioned, Van, that like engineer and astrologer, for example, that I feel like haven't been mentioned in it yet, so in any of the categories or even closely, so I want to make sure things like that don't get missed. Mortician, give me a description of that. Some of them are very specific and I've heard of before, but I want to like make sure I've got a full understanding of what they are. Prepares dead bodies for burial or cremation and makes arrangements. That's a pretty good one. Do you think, because I want to avoid that if we can, having two of the same thing there twice that's just a different wording. Undertaker I thought was more someone that actually works with the bodies rather than arranges them, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to look at a description actually. Person whose business is making arrangements. Yeah, it's the same thing. Gravedigger was what I was thinking for Undertaker then. Person who digs graves, yeah. So we'll have Undertaker then instead of Morticia because it's the same thing, and we'll have Gravedigger as well because for some reason I was thinking Undertaker was a gravedigger, so we'll add that because someone did mention Gravedigger. Yeah, you did earlier on. Sailor, Sea Captain, Ferryman, First Mate. So we've got Pirate, but Sailor could be added because it's a little bit less. Sailor isn't really a pirate, so we can still add one for the sea. And I feel like Sailor sums most of those up. So rather than putting all 5 down, maybe using Sailor for all of those is best. Heretic, Grave Robber, Pilgrim, Exile. Oh, some good ones. I like Grave Robber because we've got Grave Digger, so having the opposite of that, someone who actually robs them, is an interesting one. Is it all one word, Grave Robber, or is it separate? Because I thought it was one word like Gravedigger, but I guess I'm wrong. Exile's a great one. Drunkard, yeah, someone who's like because we've got beggar, haven't we, and slave, but drunkard isn't that. Drunkard is different. So rebel, urchin's a great one. Prisoner, rebel could fall under criminal maybe, or heretic could as well. Pilgrim, that's an interesting one. Do we have like police in general? Is that more like guards? We've got detective, and we've got the fact is with Raindrop Chronicles we aren't like tied to a medieval fantasy world. There could be some real life or sci-fi elements in our game too. I feel like going from region to region things could change. Like one region could be a little bit more medieval and traditional and old, whereas another region further away could be more modern day. So I'm not against having different themes and settings at all. I think that would be very exciting to do, as long as it wasn't all the same village that had a mishmash of things, because then it would just be utterly confusing and bonkers. But between different lands and regions, I think that would be pretty cool. Monk is good. Monk is actually a class, actually, but I feel like that could still be a livelihood too. So prisoner's a good one, because I know that says we've got criminal. Someone did say jailer actually, but prisoner I think is a bit of a more general word, and so we'll have that one instead. Brawler, fight master, bet taker, investigator, seed planter, guide, cow speaker, herald, crier, instrument tuner, glass blower, toy maker. There's some really very specific ones there, and I really like them. Fight master, bet taker, instigator, seed planter, guide. Did we add guide? I think we did add guide, didn't we? Guide is there, yes. So just checking. Lamplighter, food taster. Okay, so I'm adding a few of the specific ones now that 100% don't fall into anything else. Brawler, fight master could be criminal. Bet taker, we have auctioneer, but that's different to bet taker, isn't it? Let's have that then. We don't worry though guys, we do have other and nothing, so if there is something super specific you can always pick that for your characters. Lamplighter, food taster, butcher, smuggler. Yeah, we didn't add smuggler, did we? But we added pirate. Cultist is an interesting one. We haven't added like a church religion sort of person either. Actually, now I've thought about it. And I know we've got priests and clerics that we've got as playable classes in battle, but there probably could be a church as a building in a city, or a number of cities, and people would be in there. You know, you've got like bishops. I know. I'm trying to think of a word to sum up a religious person that could, rather than something too specific. Crime lord would be criminal, I guess. Called. That's probably a good one to have. Zava. How are you doing, by the way, Zava? I don't think I said hi. Clergy. Do you think that's the best specific word? Holy person's okay, but some maybe that doesn't have person at the end, because I'm just a bit. Hauling guys from North, though, I guess if they have ice magic, they might find it easier to magic up their ice. Ice retriever. I mean, we definitely are going to have a cold place. I'm sure it's somewhere in the world further north. And it is cool to think of the lore there, that's for sure. And it's hard to tell at this stage what will be there, you know. So I'm trying to avoid anything too specific, but you guys will have ideas, I'm sure. I think we've got quite a few that are gonna inspire people though. Is there any key ones that you feel we've missed? Like, I know that I've not added everybody's suggestions. I've tended to add a few that have stood out most, but if any of you in chat feel that I really should have added something like passionately, then feel free to speak up. Psychic, that's a good one. We have the one who plays the Prime Minister is actually a fortune teller himself, but I'm sure that there's going to be more of those sort of people populating the certain places. Tarot reader. Is there something to sum those three up? Because I kind of want to add tarot reader, but we've already got psychic and prophet, so I don't know if we would be going too overboard Ritualist. Clergy. I'm going to add clergy then. Do we have hunter trapper in general? I've got adventurer. And I feel that that's a good. I'm going to put explorer as well, maybe, but that's adventurer really, so I don't know. Adventurer to me is anybody that's the sort of person like a hunter. And I don't know if I want to encourage hunter too specifically, because that is the hero in the game. He's a hunter. And I don't want to end up with too many of them as NPCs. I want to try and... That's why I'm trying to give wording like adventurer rather than things that are too specific. I mean, I'm not against other hunters being in the game, but... Would tarot go into psychic or fortune telling? It probably would be considered psychic, so we'll probably just keep that as psychic. Tomb explorer. I think explorer, we could add explorer, probably not something as specific as tomb, but explorer in general might be different to adventurer, because adventurer is more of a fighter, I guess, someone that does jobs and quests for people around the world and wants to get into danger. Whereas an explorer is more interested in finding treasures and looking at places. So there is probably a slight difference. Maybe on each of these choices, the ones picked should be removed each time. That way we don't have doubles or... Yeah, that is really it, Van. Getting too many of the same thing. And I think that's why I was reluctant to add hunter, because we've already got the playable hero that you can be a hunter, and Kung's character, Eolandra, is a hunter as well as a NPC hunter, should I say. So to remove the danger of everybody going for the same, that's why. But things like fortune teller, we already do have one in Traitorio, the Prime Minister, but I don't think I'd be against another psychic in the game, one that isn't the Prime Minister, should I say. One that's just a sort of person that does it and is a bit more humble. So, because yeah, fortune teller isn't his main job anymore, considering he's a prime minister now. I guess that makes sense. Imagine someone out to hunt deer, but they only run into fantasy monsters. Yeah, I set a limit to how many there are. Yeah, so that's what we'll do. I mean, looking at everything we've got at the moment, we do have a good variety, I think. I am going to order these alphabetically, so we already do have 2 merchant NPCs in the game, in Binary Ferret and Juice Jora's characters. But things with merchants, you can never have too many. There's always one in every town, and you even get travelling merchants as well. So I'm not sure if I'll delete things that you can have a lot of. But if anything's like super feels like a little bit like there can only be one of them or 2 of them, then I probably will remove them from the list then, so we just don't keep risking having too many of the same thing. Merchants can be super specialised in what they sell, yeah. I mean, if somebody here wanted to be a merchant, I kind of recommend them to read the character forms to the other merchants, so that they can like differ themselves a bit from the current merchants in the game. And I think Binary and Juice's merchant characters have a very good... They're good parallels to each other, actually, because they're very different. One's a reptile merchant and one's a canine merchant, and their personalities are very different, so they're very good. I'm very happy with the ones we got so far. So same with scholar and scientist. Miner could be a good one. Yeah, we do have miner. I added that one actually, so I think we've sort of there, aren't we? I'm gonna order them alphabetically now, because it's gonna be way more easier to do that. Might take a bit of time to do that though, but we'll do it. So there we go. Government worker before God. Warrior, adventurer will go at the top. And actually, I don't need to say what type are you, because if you've looked at our Law Bible, guys, you may have noticed that I separate the NPCs into types now. We've got townspeople and traders, rulers and leaders, adventurers and drifters. And I was going to ask that as a question, what one are you? But to be honest, I think the livelihood that people pick will speak for itself, and we'll know which one to put them in from that. So this is a really cool question. I'm really happy we've added this to our NPC form. I think it'll give any future NPCs that we've got a lot more potential, unique, standout qualities. So pretty cool. Hi, Callis Handsome. How are you doing today? It's good to see you. Same technologist, if some more sci-fi elements exist. Do you think scientist and technologist would be different, guys? I mean, we've got engineer. I mean, I know that it might not specifically be that, but we will totally have sci-fi elements, I'm sure, and it's very far removed from where we are in the game right now, because we're in a more sort of old, enchanted medieval village and area at the moment, for sure. But you know, there's going to be many cities and different places with completely different themes and feels and to them. I'd be excited to do something like that with our game. But we can add that. I feel it's an interesting one, because it is a bit different to scientists. So thank you for the ideas, Ava. Or engineering, depending on the focus. Yeah, I feel, yeah, we'll just have that. If any of you mention any more and I feel that there is a missing place and we don't have a category for that one, then I'll probably add it. So I think we've probably done nearly everything out there though, almost, maybe. How you doing though, Rex? We're updating our character forms today. All the Law Bible profiles are done now. Feel free to look, guys. I have linked the Law Bible to the website now. It's right there on the read more. It links to that bit, links to Law Bible, and you'll be able to see everybody's character profile if you wish. And it's about time we do update the character forms, because we've made a fair few changes to things. We scrapped minor NPC recently and major NPC, and we've just got it as NPC now. So we kind of just redoing the forms. We've decided to add the what do you do for a living question for the NPC form, but really expand on it, because it'll potentially give so many cool, unique ideas for NPCs. And I don't have things like King and Prime Minister on here, because we've already got NPCs that are those characters. So anytime that there's a super unique job that only one person can have, I'll remove them from the form. But there's a lot of jobs here that a few NPCs could potentially be, but if we start getting too many of one job, I might remove it off anyway, to encourage people to pick some of the others. Do we have an artist photography? Oh, we don't have artist. I was thinking we have groomer and we have entertainer, but we don't have artist. So I'd say photographer would fall under artist, and painter would as well. So we don't even have writer. So I'm going to add writer as well. I'm thinking of all the creative things we've missed now. So I'm just going to order these alphabetically. Love your top. Bye bye. Thank you, Hennel. Very flowery and summery. I like it too. you guys are going to have fun looking through these. This is why I don't want to delete the forms off the website, why I've decided not to. Because I want you guys to get excited and get ideas and look through them. If I hide them from the website, you won't be able to. But I was going to hide them from the website at one point because I was getting randoms fill them in. But I've decided to add the question on the top of the form saying, do you have 1,000 raindrops from a Twitch channel, so people know a little bit more that you need the 1,000. But it's worth ordering these alphabetically because it's gonna be really hard for you guys to find them otherwise if I don't. Also, like, this will help us as well when us as a community want to add non-community member NPCs to the games to populate our towns and areas. Like, we can get ideas ourselves of who to add as characters by looking through the list. If we ever want to do that, which I'm sure we will, because we want to populate our towns and things. I'm going to keep nothing and other at the bottom, even though it's N and it should be with the N, just because I feel it should be at the bottom, that one. If any of you notice that I'm putting the wrong ones alphabetically, feel free to say, because you never know, I might. I'm not a robot after all, I might do something wrong. But I think I'm doing okay. I've zoomed in a bit more, by the way, so you can actually see chat what we're doing, because I feel like the text might have been a little bit too small, so there we go. While we're ordering these, yeah, we've got a lot to go through, but I'm very happy. I think it was well worth expanding this list. And the website won't be as in dire need of an update now that we've added the Lore Bible and updated these character forms. Because I was kind of encouraging people not to fill them in yet, because we need to do these updates. But yeah, I feel super happy that I've done all the profiles now, because that was always going to be a big job, getting them transferred over onto the Lore Bible. We can get back into the game dev stuff now. But I don't want to jump into doing game dev today too early while we had to sort this out. And yeah, there's still more stuff to add to the website, but it's not emergency. the other things can hold on a bit longer. Whenever I order things alphabetically, I sing the ABCs over and over in my head, do you? We all have our own methods. I have been like, hang on, is G before that? And I have thought that a few times. Their guard would be before guide. Oh! Look, we got it there twice. There we go. I was wondering if we'd put something there twice without realising. But thanks for mentioning artists though, because that was one we missed. And yeah, we don't have to be tied to just fantasy alone, you know. Other genres are fine. Yeah, I do too. My gosh, I don't even think we're halfway through this yet. I'm going to save it in case. We don't want to crash and then be like, oh no, I've got to add all them again. Probably there before we logged in, yeah. You never know, it might not be. And guys, like when this is already done, if you ever look through the forms and you think, actually, you know, I think it'd be pretty cool if Rose added this job that is completely should be on the list that's missing, you can always let me know in a stream or in Discord, because these forms are publicly available for you to view. But yeah, you would think we would have added artists, wouldn't you? But we're only human beings, aren't we? It's very easy to miss the obvious things. So GHI, that's it. That's fine. But yeah, guys, if you are interested in making a character, I definitely do recommend reading the existing character ideas that we've got, because, you know, I'm sure you yourselves will want to create someone that is unique to what hasn't been created yet. And it can help inspire, because I feel it's important that the characters link together. I really like it, especially when somebody makes a character that links with one of the characters that have already been created. That's always a fun one to see, because character relationships as well, and connections, so they're not all just separate people, you know. Everybody in a world is going to connect somehow. Should there be another category that people could provide suggestions if one doesn't match? Could be a text field under the drop down. We do have nothing another. That's going to be the bottom one. There isn't a text field for it. There's only the choice, the multiple choice. And we could always add that as a question, but yeah, that could be a good idea actually, because there's, you know, somewhere, so they'll need to write somewhere what they actually are, so I might have that underneath that we'll do after. And although there's a section where you can write about your character in another box, you know, it's still probably a good idea to have that. Oh my gosh, we're not even anywhere close to the end. We've got so many. I wonder how many there are. I might count when I get some time. Yeah, and I thought of Doctor, and I was really proud of myself when I said that, because we hadn't got it on our list. Hang on. A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, S, T, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, P, Q, R. Is U after W or before? I always struggle with the last letters of the alphabet in the order of them, but I know the first half, well, the first ones easily. It's those U's, X's, W's. I should get a chart next to me so I can say U, V, W, that's it. So I did it right. It's after T but before W. Huzzah, thank you. H, I, J, that's it. You could put all the professions in Excel and auto sort them. Could do, although I don't even have Excel, and logging in and doing it all will take time anyway, so I might as well carry on how I'm doing it now, just because I'm one of these people that when I'm in the groove of something and I'm already doing it, starting and doing another method doesn't really do me any good. I just end up getting confused and I end up taking even more time doing the new thing. Okay, so, but we're getting there, we're in the groove. We're getting there. We've got a couple of dozen left, I'd say, by the look of it. H-I-J. The song comes in handy. What song? And there are so many options there isn't there? It's crazy. Chat were going crazy with the ideas. I couldn't believe my luck with all the ideas. Hi Storm, how you doing? It's good to see you. How are things? We have added your profile to the Law Bible as well, Storm, now, so feel free to have a look if you'd like. Everybody's on there now, all the community characters, so it's nice to keep them all organised on there. And we're currently... Is that how you spell astrologer? Astrologer. Yeah, I'm worried that there's some typos. And we're currently just making an edit to the character forms because adding them to written profiles on the Law Bible, things became more clear and we've changed things just a touch, and we're just giving a few more options and changing the question orders on things. We've got a ton of livelihoods for NPCs now. It's bonkers. We've got so many. Been lurking for a while on the streams. Finally have some time to actually sit back and talk. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, we're going to get some real creativity from all these ideas, I'm assuming, because, well, I'd expect so, because we got some really unique ones here. Chart for the alphabet. Oh, thank you, Zava. Mostly I'm fine, and I know, but the odd time you're actually like, is that first? You get brain melt, don't you, eventually? If that goes too high up in chat, I'll copy and paste it. We gotta be near in the end though now. I was thinking of changing groomer to stylist actually. Feel like it gets to just makes it a little bit more clear what it is. More my kind of word. There we go. Let's save it again. Really liked the judge and lawyer idea, because the law and that side of things actually didn't enter my head for NPC ideas, but it's a cool one. JKL. I thought we were near the end and we've still got loads, but it's getting less and less. Slowly but surely. Don't get me wrong, it's very exciting to get all these put in, and I'm actually really looking forward to saving this form when it's done and looking at it and seeing how long the list goes on for. It's going to be insane. I hope we get a chance to do the rest of the forms before the end of the stream. And there was actually something else I wanted to do today as well in stream before we finish, but we can always switch that over to Wednesday, in all honesty. It will be fine to do that on Wednesday. Slave and slave driver. It's gonna, once we start getting more NPCs in the game, all these, it's gonna feel we're gonna get a really populated world before we've even started, because even when episode 1 comes out, we'll have got nowhere near started. We'll have only been in like one zone of the whole world. And eventually, not yet, I think we're still okay, but eventually I can imagine the playable character becoming more expensive than being an NPC, but I'm not sure yet, because a lot of people actually do pick NPC over playable character. I've found the reason why I'd say a playable character should be more expensive is because there's going to be less of them than NPCs. The limit I'd be willing to have the playable character would be 40 to 50 playable characters, But for NPCs, we could have potentially up to 100 or more because you know, it's a big world and there'll always be NPCs everywhere. You know, we need to fill our. So for that reason, playable characters are a little bit more few than what NPCs would be. But looking at the ratio and what we've got so far, we have more NPCs submissions than we've had playable character ones, so we're okay. But if I ever do find a lot of you guys are picking playable characters and I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, we're getting loads, and there's a lot of interest in that, and I'll make it more pricey. But I'll judge when the time comes. Because yeah, we are the sort of RPG that are gonna have a lot of playable characters. Like Chrono Cross and Valkyria Chronicles, they had dozens. And there's still a ton of classes that haven't been taken that are really wonderful and unique on our list. They're all here. You know, potentially could have even more than what's here as well. We're on engineer. I remember that being one of the later ones we added, so I think we're getting there now. Shame we can't drag two at a time, because I could do both Grave Digger and Grave Robber together. I'm curious which of these livelihoods you guys are fascinated by the most and would like to see in the game. I mean, intrigued to see in the game. I mean, if you haven't, you know, gotten it, if you're not a character in the game already, you yourselves, if you like it, the sound of any of these can be one of them. Drunkard. I would never have thought of some of these, so I'm glad we did this on stream. I bet you there's still a lot we haven't thought of, you know, that are like wouldn't be fitting in any of the characters, but I feel like we've done a good job. Oh, that will go before that. Hi Ed, how you doing? It's so good to see you. Happy Monday. Hope your week is treating you well so far. It's super inspiring looking through all these, though. It's gonna, you know, getting some of these NPCs will like sort of trigger ideas and stuff as well. Gonna be fun. Okay, how many we got? We're getting there. We still got about a dozen or more. It's hard to tell, but we are getting there. But I do think having another field for other is a good thing, because in fact I'm going to delete nothing, because I've got nothing / other, and I don't think it's good to be nothing. You got to be something, right? Who's with me? You got to be something, even if you're a beggar or an urchin. You know, you're something. Nobody's nothing. So I'm tempted to get rid of nothing, but having other, obviously, I'm letting you people expand on that if there's something that isn't there. But I feel like if you look through the list, you'll get inspired and think of something cool, even if the one you think isn't on the list anyway. Like, you might look and see gravedigger and think, well, I don't want to be a gravedigger, but I want to be this. Just looking at some of the things could inspire more specific ideas for you guys. There. Hi Andy Cake, how you doing as well? And hi Shadow, good to see you. No complaints so far, hope you are all doing well. I'm feeling inspired today. The weather's cooled down now, so I'm not as lazy as I was last week, and I'm feeling inspired. How are you doing, Shadow and Andy Cake as well? With all these options, a nothing option isn't necessary. I completely agree. Yeah, it just came to me. I was like, why have we got nothing there? That's lame. Go away. There. And I'm thinking of getting rid of other, but having that underneath instead as a separate question in case nothing. No, actually, the other needs to be there, because otherwise what will they say? You know, if they wouldn't know what one to pick. So I'll keep other there, that's fine, but I'll just have something underneath that'll allow them to expand. Okay, so, but yeah, nothing is just lame. What if you're nothing? You're nothing as a character as well. And we don't want to encourage that in Raindrop Chronicles. We want people to be more than a nothing. And it's correct, like, with all the choice we have now, there's something. There's something. Like, you might have a character that doesn't like working or having a livelihood, but we've got non-livelihood things here, like a thief or a beggar or an urchin, or very much you can fall under something at the very least. Doing good, thanks for asking. How are you? I'm doing good, Shadow. Doing decently. Looking forward to the autumn, the fall. Yeah, take out nothing. Yeah, others should be there, and then a text box to fill it in. Yeah, that's what we'll do as soon as we've done this list. I'm excited. LMNOPQ. There we go. If the person wants to do other, then they should have something creative to fill in. Yeah, nothing is very uninspiring, isn't it? If we ever get a troll, they'll pick nothing just to screw up our game. But not that we'll ever get a troll bother getting 1,000 raindrops. And I can always refuse, like, a form anyway. I wouldn't refuse unless the app was absolutely atrocious, like full of terrible submissions, offensive, like that wouldn't be allowed. But in general, like, if it clashes with the law greatly, things will have to be changed in the person's form anyway. Over time, as the game goes further in development and we get more lore and characters, it's going to be a bit more fussy by what we expect, of course, with the process. And it's not that your character will get rejected, because if you've got 1,000, you're allowed a character. But they might have to be amended if a few things aren't fitting. But everybody so far has been great. No problems at all with all the submissions we've had so far. Even if you are a homemaker, housewife, hubby, student, apprentice, criminal urchin, that's something. Yeah, do we have, we've got housekeeper. That would fall under being a house husband or housewife. So, yeah, for sure. Someone just stays at home and looks after the house. Because we had some ideas with cleaner and some words like that, but I feel housekeeper's a good general word for that sort of thing, because that could apply to anybody who takes care of the house or a house. And yeah, we've got student and apprentice and yeah, 100%. Of course, you should make it clear on the form to make something original. Yeah, that's why, you know, I said that I wanted to add a little bit more extra text on the website. That's what I was thinking of doing. I was like wanting to write just a little short paragraph that, you know, we will, things have to fit and with the law, and I encourage people to read the characters that have already been submitted, and that we want an original character, things like that. I was thinking of just adding an extra paragraph for things like that. Okay, where were we? No copyrighted cat. Yeah, that's gonna go there too. And also in the Law Bible, like I said, I'm gonna put it underneath submissions, you know, where it's got submitted by known person name, and put like in the event of like clashes with law or copyright concerns, some of this might be some information may be changed, but because that has to be there. Like even the ones we've got so far, I'm going to admit it, the great characters, but a couple of things might need a change, name changes or something, just in case, because I don't know if some of these names that may have been used are already in an existing game. I have to like make sure that names and law ideas people have got aren't gonna like be a problem. But you know, the vision's gonna still be there. We'll still have that character do what they've been written to do. At most, like the name would be changed to fit with Raindrop Chronicles lore more. And I've been working and had to do some things after work. Oh, sleepy. Are you a sleepy one, Andy Cake? Well, my homemaker is more like unemployed and taking care of their own stuff. Housekeeper sounds more like a maid that does it for payment. Yeah. So maybe, do you guys think we need something for somebody that is a house husband or housewife sort of character? What do you reckon? Do you think we're missing that? Just thinking, if you was going to create an NPC like that, what would you, out of all the lists we got, what would you pick? Because I don't know if we've got something that's for that, you say, but we got other. So, you know, it's not the end of the world if we don't have everything on this list, because we've got other at the end of the day. ORS, yeah, there we go. How about use common? Common is a good one, because we've got noble, haven't we? So common is a good opposite to that. So we'll put that comma. This is what I mean. It's my typos lately. There. No, that's not it. There. Finally. I made the most stupid typo last week. I actually put it on Twitter. On the Raindrop Chronicles Twitter. On the latest tweet. There we go. Oh, that works. Common covers a lot of people. Yeah, it's very general, and sometimes they're great ones to have because people can get ideas from things like that. There's a multitude of different character types that could fall under commoner. And that's what I want this list to do, ultimately help inspire people to come up with creative ideas. Oh, O should be above the R ones. Yeah, some of I mean, you never know, some of these might be in the wrong order, but just let me know if they are. Okay, so... Oh, we're nearly at the end. I'm really excited because we've nearly got to the end, guys. Got very excited then. There's like literally only about 8 left. Then you don't have to discern between house people and all that. Yeah. Because, I mean, you guys van specifically, national as well, and others, the rest of you came up with some really, really cool specific ones. Like, Toy Maker was a very specific one, for example. But I really just liked it, so I added it anyway. But a lot of them I didn't add because I thought, yeah, they might be a bit too specific. And we didn't want to end up with, like, thousands on our list, you know. We'd be here all week ordering them alphabetically, but you know, that's why we've got other, you know, I feel like what we've got here is enough to excite people and make them think of ideas anyway. Okay, yeah, that's right order. Mystic Crystal Revelation, thank you for the follow. I like that name, very mysterious. Hope you're having a great week so far. Anybody who's coming into the stream today for the first time or lurking, you might notice all these really cool NPC ideas we've got right now. I know, I just get excited about stuff like this. I'm just such a nerd. Because I like characters and world building. Yeah, we got 4 now, so it's not going to take us much longer. Hi, how are you doing? Welcome. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, we're working on character forms for our characters in the game, any community characters that any community members that want to be a character, because it's in need of an update. We've changed a few things like gender. We've added non-binary to the list now, and there's a couple of other little things that we're changing as well. That goes there. Rosie was so rosy today. Oh, my cheeks are rosy. Is that what you mean? Maybe I was blushing, Andy Cake. Probably got embarrassed over a typo I made or something. Yay! Nearly in the top 1,000. Nearly, dude. Considering it's your first day here, that's not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, I can look at what? Oh no, have I lost the alphabet thing now? Damn it. Yeah, Cook goes after that, doesn't it? It's after N. N-O-P, that's it. So, we've done it. We've actually ordered it all. So, let's give that a save. Our NPC character form is brilliant now, guys. People aren't going to be able to resist picking NPC over playable character now, which is what we want to do, really, because we don't want to end up with many playable characters too soon. We've already got 13 out of potentially 50, and I know that feels like, oh, well, 13 out of 50 is nothing, but in this early in development, it is. So really, I'm not going to discourage people who want to be a playable character. If you want to be a playable character, be a playable character. But, you know, NPCs, we need more of them than playable characters. So I'm glad we've got all of these to help inspire people and convince them to be an NPC. GG, yay, thank you. Oh, Zava put it there for me again as well. Bless you. Okay, so that's there. If anybody's curious, you can look on the website at how long our list is. In fact, I want to look at that because I want to see how long the list is. So I'm going to refresh the website to look. And if anybody wants to go on the website, I mean, I know I have it in the title and everywhere, plastered everywhere, but if anyone wants to get there more easily, you can. Okay, here we are. Let's make an NPC. Very, very smart idea, Van, by the way, to add that as the first question. We've also, so the changes we have made, just to let you guys know who are just stopping in, we've added non-binary to gender now. And we've also added neutral to allegiance as well. So we haven't just got ally and antagonist now. And your allegiances will always be what you are at the start of with the hit us meeting you as the player. It doesn't mean it's set in stone. So just because you're an antagonist or ally at first doesn't mean you'll be that way throughout the course of the game, because Raindrop Chronicles is a very branchy, choice-based, moral sort of compass game, and different NPCs will treat you differently and be a friend and not be a friend based on your actions in the game. So for that reason, allegiances aren't always set in stone. Some characters will always be antagonists because that's just who they are. They're just through and through, can't change, or will always hate you because your mission will clash with theirs in general. For example, I don't know, Chub Cheeks' his character's an antagonist, and because his character is so, what he's doing is so against what the party are trying to do. Like help the barrels, say like Carol the Barrel, like he's kidnapped them. I can't see someone like him potentially going from antagonist to ally, but somebody whose sort of story arc is a bit more grey and not as rigid to the heroes like goals, it'll clash with them, could potentially definitely change allegiance maybe. That way you can at least put a control on the player characters. Oh well, you might want to limit them per chapter as far as the playable characters, that way you can at least, yeah, it's, I mean, at the same time I definitely want these awesome classes that we've got to get taken up, so I don't want to discourage people wanting to be a playable character, because I want these classes to get taken. There's some really cool ones here that I'd love to create skills for, but it's true that you're not going to see, I mean, episode 1 we're probably only going to introduce a couple more, or you know, playable characters. Episode 2 will only have another handful of playable characters introduced. It's all going to be gradual, because that's how it works in RPGs. You don't meet 50 people in one go, do you? You meet them gradually and they join your party as you travel throughout the land, and eventually by end game you've got them all, you've got a party picker and you can have the pick of who you have, but it takes time for that playable character rota to build up, and that's just how we're going to do it. So if you do make a playable character, you're not guaranteed to be in the game anytime soon, but that goes for NPCs as well. You know, even all the NPCs aren't going to be seen in episode 1 or 2. You know, it's, some of them are going to be from an environment or area of the game that are nowhere close to the Everbloom Forest or the next place to the Everbloom Forest. So you got to have patience with this project, folks. Like just because you've made a character and you've quickly got your 1,000 raindrops doesn't mean your character's gonna be in the game tomorrow, you know. And I don't want to feel rushed and in a position where someone is making me put their character in their game fast either. So that hasn't happened yet, luckily, but it could do. So I need to like make that as a thing as well somewhere. So yeah, maybe if people are really wanting to see their characters early, then NPC might, yeah. See, I don't think it's any different, because a lot of NPCs in our list that we've got, honestly, it's the same as playable characters. Half of them, even 2/3, are probably not going to be in episode 1 or 2, or even 3, because we don't know how many episodes this thing's going to have. And I've always said I am not going to make a town and just throw every single NPC in there just for the sake of getting you all in the game to make you happy. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to be loyal to the world's law and introduce characters that fit best based on their story and environment and where they seem like they'd be dwelling. Then yes, you will like to be introduced. If you're a forest dweller and we're in a forest, you never know, you might make an appearance. If you're in a city, you'll make an appearance when we get to a bigger city. It's all going to just depend on those sort of things. And I'm not going to be making like 10 cities or in the space of a year. This is a slow process. Like, we spent time in Everbloom Forest for a long time. It's basically Everbloom Forest is episode 1, so yeah. It might happen, no joke, yeah. If anybody ever causes a problem for me and starts becoming demanding, they will be gone and banned, because this is my choice. I make decisions, and I don't put up with crap, so I want to enjoy this project. But luckily nobody has been like that to me yet, so I'm fine. I have had a couple of issues, I'm going to just tell you, earlier on, not in the last few months. But there was a period when people were throwing some tantrums and then decided to not come back because they weren't getting their own way. And so it's very likely that, I'm going to come across that at some point in the development. You got to be prepared for these things. And I like to make sure what I write and what I put, disclaimers on the website and the law bible, things that, so people are aware of these things. And if they're like, I'm not in the game, where am I? I'll be like, it was written there and you can't tell me what to do anyway, because this is my project. So that's what I'll just say to them. And nobody has control over what I decide to do or when. You got a character and that make an appearance at some point, and that's it. So you might want to put a bit of info on the nature of the project, such as you decide where these NPC players go, in that you've got the right to refuse, and that the person who submits a character may not see that character early in the game. And when I was talking about how I wanted to expand on the website, where are we? Was gonna look at the thing. All this section here says I wanted to write a little paragraph, didn't I? Well, what you've just said, Van, is basically what I want to do, and something that you said earlier as well, actually. Just something to cover my back, and I shouldn't need to justify or explain, in all honesty, because this is my project, and anybody who's a decent human being would understand that anyway. But I still want to cover my back. I don't want conflict and stress. I want as little as possible if I can help it. So because of that, I'm going to write a little short paragraph also at some point saying exactly kind of what you've said. As well as the whole, things might, I encourage people to read the lore and other existing characters so they can make a character that is fitting for our world, etc., etc. I'll get a paragraph of that written up at some time. The sooner the better, really. Because I think we have such great characters, we really do, and it would be a shame to ruin it by just throwing them all in one region just for the sake of people pleasing. Which was never what I was going to do, because it was never going to be that. But some people might assume that it's like that. They might get that impression that that is what we will do, which is why I've put such a thing on future episode 1, 2 or 3 plus, because if I just categorized all the characters in one folder, people are more inclined then to think that they're already in the game or are going to be in the game soon. So it's for sure. And the thing with playable characters, yeah, it's true, it's more rare. We want more NPCs than playable characters over time as this goes on, for sure, in terms of submissions. And the thing I'm likely to do is just make the raindrop requirement more expensive for playable character if I feel like a lot of them are being taken up. Right now they're not. There seems like there's a more interest in people being NPCs when people have submitted characters, so we'll keep it both as 1,000 for now, but if I'm finding in the near future we get in a few more playable character submissions, I'm going to be inclined to raise the limit so that we can get a better balance and more NPCs rather than playable characters, because we don't want it biting us on the bum. I mean, it's not the end of the world if we get all playable characters filled up and we just delete the form forever and be like, you can only be an NPC now because we've already got all our playable characters. If it came to it, we'd do that, but I wouldn't like to do that because I think it's nice that people still get the choice. So if anything, we'll just make it more expensive. But I can see eventually them being taken up by endgame, for sure. They'll probably be taken up and we'll only have choice for NPCs, but we'll see. I'll try to make sure that it's as equally balanced as possible, but all it really comes down to is patience. That you got to realise that your character might not see the light of day for years to come here, because it's 2020, right? This is like a thing I've dedicated my next decade to, so you know what I mean? That's just how it is. We're not going to make an episodic RPG in a couple of years, no way. Each episode is probably on a 18-month to 2-year development time, potentially more, depending on how much content we want in the episode or how far we want to go. Let me catch up with chat anyway. So you should also add a note that says all characters must worship Rex for no reason. You're funny, Rex. Trust you. Oh, and you could always limit the number of player characters you take in a month. Yeah, that way if a person is hot to get a character made, they can do an NPC if all the PCs are taken in a month. Yeah, that is something to consider, like having the form be closed at certain periods, or like a limitation. See, even if one playable character got taken in a month, that's too much, in all honesty, because like I said, if this is a 10-year thing, how many months are in a year? 12 times 10, 120. So if it was one playable character a month, yeah, we'd still have too many. So it's more likely a year. How many playable characters in a year, maybe? Yeah, it seems like, yeah. So, yeah, we'll have to think of a good amount, I think of it. Because, in my opinion, we already have a lot of playable characters. Like, we've got 12, apart from Rose, right? Now, looking through those playable characters, some of them are going to be early game. Some of them are going to be mid-game. Some of them might be early to mid-game. Some of them might even be end-game. So all those playable characters that we've got here, you know, then just because they're the first ones that have been submitted by the community doesn't mean they're going to be the first ones we see in the game, because it all depends on like characters' location, like how experienced they are in battle and things like that, that will determine whether they enter the party first or more towards mid-game. But we do have a lot, but it's not like I feel pressured to think, God, all these 12 have to be in episode 1 and 2. No. Some of them could be in episode 5. You know, we don't know at this point. And or if they want to play a PC, they're committed to this, and we'll wait till the slots open the next month. Yeah. Or even certain months of the year they're open. Playable characters and other months they're not. Either we put on a yearly limit, or we only have them it open certain times of the year, certain seasons. So we'll say what solution works best. A character invents a mysterious new toy called a video game, and it's dungeon crawler, also made in RPG Maker. Oh, what's that? That sounds interesting, Matt. I'm trying to work out what that means, but sounds cool. I've got to go off track because we've gotten onto a tangent, talking and rambling. Yeah, pick your best number, value, and choose it. You might close the player character then every other quarter. You should make a limit for each. Yeah, one or the other. I'm either going to have it open seasonally, the playable character thing, so that those that are desperate to be a playable character will be patient and hold on, or have a yearly limit. Because we got 12 so far, apart from Rose, right? Playable characters, and I am willing to have up to 50 playable characters because I'm very inspired by the whole party picker thing with your favourite class and having all these varied classes. I mean, what we got so far, there's so many more. So potentially we've filled a quarter of them up already, you know? So I can't see us having too many more, even for episode 1 or 2. 2's development, really. I have to have a think about that one. But yeah, with NPCs, it works the exact same way. Hi GTA, by the way, how you do? NPCs is no different in regards to your character's not going to see the light of day any sooner than a playable character would. Some of them will still, you know, not come till later episodes potentially, but we don't have to put a limit on the NPC thing because we can have many, you know. NPCs, there's no like limit for how many we want, is there? Because we can populate the town. All of the many towns and cities will eventually have with these people. But the fact is there is a limit on playable character. I don't think I'd want to go more than 50. 40, 50 is kind of the number. But as for NPCs, we can definitely have way more than 50. Definitely. I mean, in Lakefall alone, we've got a dozen NPCs that aren't community characters, and Lakefall's tiny, so bigger cities could have even more NPCs than that. So with NPCs, it's definitely not as frightening to have a number of submissions, because bigger cities we could potentially fill up with dozens, and some of them will be community member NPCs, others will be ones we create on stream ourselves. But the fact is, it's the playable characters that have that limit. Even though we're not close to the limit yet, nowhere near, it will eventually get full, even if it's not till another couple of years. Hello GTA, how are you doing, GTA? It's good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you have a good Monday. And I think you should start that as soon as possible, just so you can focus on the ones you have now. I meant on the PCs. Yeah. It's a good idea. And like we said, episode 1 might only have a handful at most of these in the game. But an episode 2 might have another 3 or 4, maybe. All depends. It's hard to judge at this point in time, because we don't know what region we're going to be in episode 2 or episode 3. So we'll see. But by episode 3, we could have all of these in. but definitely not just episode 1 or 2 even. Because doing skill trees and skills and all that thing is a very time consuming thing at the end of the day, and that's another reason we do this game episodic, so it's not too much on my shoulders or not too much intense development. Because imagine doing all of those playable characters skill trees in one go, right? Wow. The fact that it's all a gradual thing and we work on who's in the game now and only the beginning of their skill trees as well is much more manageable. But even if you don't know, you don't want to get overwhelmed. Yeah, I do think for sure playable characters, I think it'll be a good idea to put some kind of lock or limit on it before the end of the year. Since the summer, like since you, Van and Raidu have submitted your characters, for example, we haven't had many submissions at all. It's very much slowed down since we've raised the requirement to 1,000. When the requirement was 500 raindrops, it felt almost like we were getting them very often, but now it's gone up to 1,000. It's slowed down, which is ideal, I think, at this point in time with the amount we have in the game. I'm kind of glad that it's like that now, because we have a game to make at the end of the day. We can't spend every stream adding character bios, and so we have to put some kind of limit on so things don't go crazy. And this is me at like the community size I currently have. Imagine if I was twice the size as I am now, we'd get even more submissions. So, you know, who knows what the future holds, but that's why I have that note at the bottom in small text. Please note the raindrops required to make a character may be increased in the event of high numbers of freshers, because if that ever happened, I'd have to, for my own sanity. And that is ultimately why I did raise it from 500 to 1,000, because we have had community growth and people interested in making a character, so it just felt like the right thing to do, and I think we've made the right decision there, because we'd be getting a lot of submissions otherwise, too much to manage at one time. It's only the first year of development after all, or going on to the second year now actually, which is very early days for us, so we don't want too many in before we've even released episode 1, you know. And if it's episodic, does that mean that technically each episode is a game, or are the episodes locked until done? What do you mean by episodes locked until done? Just so I can answer that properly, because I don't want to say anything that's wrong, of course. Master Emerald, thank you so much for that raid. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. How are you doing? But yes, each episode will be like you know, a segment of the game, but I say that, but I'm still very keen on making it have a lot of content in. I don't want it to be something you guys just complete in a couple of hours. I want at least a handful of main quests, and our main quests are very large, by the way, so thank you GTA for the bitters, I appreciate that, thank you very much. So yeah, they're going to be smaller than what a normal RPG would be each episode, of course. They're not going to be like 50 hours, just episode 1. But it's going to be, it's still going to have content in it. I want it to be worthwhile, and I want it to be decent and not rushed and barely anything in it. But I see it as a region by region thing at the moment. Like episode 1 is going to be Everbloom Forest, the area we are in the game. Episode 2 will probably be the next region after that, and it'll go like that at the moment, because we spend time in our regions. There's going to be a number of side quests. Each of the regions will be heavily populated. Well, more so if they're a city, of course. This forest will probably have slightly less folk living in. But it's still going to have a number of NPCs there, and they'll give quests, and it's not like you walk through the dungeon, walk through the field, and then you're into another region. We actually spend time in the regions in Raindrop Chronicles. That's the goal anyway. And welcome raiders, thank you. Let's give Master Emerald a shout out as well, because I want to see what she was doing. How you doing, Mast? How was your stream? Hope it went well. Well, you still here? Yeah, I've been getting on a big chatting times, and I've gone over time today, but I think I'm okay. My dinner will be ready soon, but it's not quite yet, so I'm good. Let's catch up with chat. Like, if episode 1 is done but episode 2 isn't done, a player can't access episode 2 until it's finished. No, because we wouldn't have even made episode 2, you know, so they wouldn't be able to play episode 2 if there's no episode 2 in existence. So it'll work as episode 1 when it's done, when it's been developed, when we're happy with it. It'll be released as a product. You guys will be free to play it. Everyone will be free to play it. I may have a small hiatus to get some downtime and relax when that episode's been released, but then at some point I'll come back and we'll start developing episode 2. When episode 1's been released, and then we'll be working on that. So it's kind of, yeah, it's all in parts for our own sanity, because it's just a lot more bearable to see it like that. Because when you're a developer and you say you're going to make an RPG, it's easy to just be like, holy crap, can't do that. RPGs are huge, especially as a solo developer, you know. But seeing it as in segments, like parts, just lifts the weight off my shoulders, you know. And how long do you want it to take us to complete the game? How do you mean take us to complete the game? How long is the play time going to be for the game? How would I say, is that what you mean, Shadow? Doing good, being productive with the writing today. Oh, that's good, Tia. What, writing for you? Because you write a few things, don't you, Master Emerald? Hi Drago, how you doing? It's good to see you. Okay guys, so unfortunately didn't get a chance to finish the character forms today. I wanted to get them done. We were kind of halfway through them. We did though do something really cool. We added the what do you do for a living question, and we got loads in there. Unfortunately it doesn't show the drop down menu on my stream because I'm in window capture and it doesn't show it on that, so you guys will have to look yourself if you want to see. And we've made a couple of necessary changes, but we're not finished yet. I've got to just structure these forms properly and put the questions in the right order that's easiest for me. So I might do that off stream tonight after my dinner. Keep an eye out guys, website, and yes, we got lots of fun things ahead. 1,000 hours of gameplay. How do you want the... Yeah, I thought that's what you meant, Shadow, but I wanted to make sure. I don't actually say at this point because I don't like to assume and put too much on myself right now. That's why I do it episodic, so I can see it bit by bit. I don't like say things like how many episodes there's going to be either in Raindrop Chronicles. I don't say there's going to be 5, I don't say there's going to be 3, I don't say there's going to be 10. In all honesty, we'll see when episode 1's released, because we'll get more of an idea of how the format's going to work then. All I'm going to say is I want to create a big world that's got a bunch of different regions in, and if we look at the map here we are. Fall, Everbloom Forest, right? So, yeah. If this is just going to be episode 1, and we got all these other places to go to, then there's going to be a lot of episodes. But at the same time, I don't like to give a number at this point, because we just don't know. And playtime for the whole game is impossible to answer. I mean, even same playtime for episode 1 is impossible to answer at the moment. I guess I would say less than what a full RPG would be, like Final Fantasy, a Final Fantasy game. Episode 1 will be less than that, obviously. But it'd probably be more than what a short indie game would be in terms of playtime. I guess like between 8 and 10 hours is a good sort of point, but it all depends, because there's going to be side quests that some people will do those and others won't, so it'll depend on how much content you do. But it's still very early days at this point, because we've only done main quest 1 and 2 of episode 1 so far. We haven't finished main quest 2 yet though. We're very close, we're like 98% there with it, maybe a little bit less than that actually, but we're getting towards the end of main quest 2. And I've said that I kind of see about 4 main quests being in episode 1. So if we're in episode main quest 2, then we're halfway through episode 1. But we're not, because we'll have side quests as well, so that'll add on to the content. But we're halfway through the main story content of episode 1. Kind of seeing it like that. Because our quests are quite chunky as well. They're not short main quests. How's that editing mystery short story today? Almost done. Oh, mystery sounds exciting. Sounds super exciting, guys, but I'm going to give you the project link in case anyone wants to just see the website now. We've made some changes, but we're not done yet. Read more will be what leads to the Lore Bible, by the way. I wanted to make the wording tempting. I was going to originally put visit the Lore Bible, but I didn't want to spell it out. I just wanted to say read more, because that's what it is really. I've gone for the high subscription on World Anvil now to get rid of ads and more features, so yes, I think it'll be a worthwhile investment, so we have potentially a better Lore Bible. And yes, so I was in the middle of doing this. I'm going to try and finish this off if I can before the next stream, so we can do something different on Wednesday, because I had other plans for today's stream as well, but we didn't get around to doing it. It's related to, well, I'll keep it a secret so you guys can find out next stream. And we didn't do a trivia today, by the way, and we don't really have time to do it now because I've already gone over time. But some days we might not have a trivia, but in all honesty, I like to do at least 1 or 2 each stream if we can, so we just didn't get around to it today is all. Just wanted to let you know it can be as long or as short as you want. Yeah, I definitely want to make a big epic world, that's for sure, because I am passionate about making a world building in an RPG. I've always wanted to make an RPG game since I was little, so I see it as a life goal. So I'm not going to be like, yeah, we're done after episode 2, bye guys, this is over now. I'm not going to be like that, because you know, this, I see it as a life goal and something I want to do, so that's the case. But at the same time, you can't be that much of a planner that you're like, yeah, we're gonna have 12 episodes and it's gonna be 100 hours each, or well, up to 100 hours altogether, and it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that, because it's hard to be that rigid, isn't it, when you're doing it as you go, and we try and keep the go with the flow sort of approach in this stream. It's just much more freeing, and things change in development. You just don't know what's around the corner. But as I was talking earlier with Van as well, the couple of things that Vandalia mentioned, there's some very important stuff to deal with and put on the website. I need to make sure that I don't ever get into a position where there's going to be conflict and tantrums in the community. Not that there would be with you guys, because you're all fabulous. But who knows who in the future, what happens. Gotta cover my back, write a few things about that character thing, because we don't want people DMing me being like, oi, get my character in the game now. Don't want that. Stressful. But none of you ever would, because you're great, but who knows. And if anyone did, they'll be banned, so... right, so guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. You're all absolutely fabulous. I would like to spread the love to somebody else, so don't go anywhere please, because I want you all to come with me and say hi like we always try to. I mean, it's hard today because I've almost got my dinner, but I think we're okay. I think we can do it. My goodness, I am hungry. I don't like doing that. It's rude. What, someone DMing someone be like, put my character in the game? Yeah. Those sort of people are few and far between. Most people are respectful of streamers and what they do and the choices they make and what's best for the project. But there's always going to be some people, you know. So I've met some in my time, and it's ideally not what streamers want at all. There we go. Raid! Awesome, guys. So I'm hiding my screen because to give the streamers the privacy, because I'm looking at my following list. And I'm seeing who's on today for us. I'm a hungry one. We'll go to Dramakins. She was super nice when we raided her last time. Super friendly and stuff. So she's playing Animal Crossing. So hope I typed the raid correctly. See you later. Thank you for the stream. You're welcome, man. Thanks for all the awesome ideas, by the way. You guys are the best. So I'll see you all on Wednesday. Take care, folks. You're all awesome.